Earlier this week, Fortnite was removed from both Apple's App Store and Google's Play Store, making it unavailable to download for any mobile devices unless you're downloading directly from Epic Games themselves or through Samsung's Galaxy Store. The reason for the ban is because in the game's latest update, Epic allowed players to purchase in-game currency in a way that bypassed Google's and Apple's stores. Players would receive a discount for buying their V-Bucks this way. As you can tell, these platform holders didn't like this. A significant portion of Apple's business is built around profiting off of software sold on their store. If you want to sell a game on iOS without Apple's approval or hand in your pot, there's no way to do so without violating Apple's rules. According to Apple's official App Store guidelines, if you want to unlock features or functionality within your app, by way of example, subscriptions, in-game currencies, game levels, access to premium content, or unlocking a full version, you must use in-app purchase, of which Apple takes a 30% cut. To be clear, Apple's not the only marketplace with these sorts of rules. Almost every digital store takes a cut from third-party developer sales. Itch.io allows developers to choose how much of a cut they offer the store, but that's because they're very cool at Itch and you should shop there. Getting back on topic, however, the reason it's an issue when Apple and Google do it is because their marketplace totally dominates their platforms. If you buy an iMac, you could choose to purchase a game, let's say Sid Meier's Civilization 6, on either the App Store or through another marketplace, such as Steam. On iOS, this is not an option. Epic's framing themselves as David against Goliath here. They've got a parody of Apple's iconic 1984 commercial live streaming on loop as part of a massive publicity campaign accompanied by the hashtag #FreeFortnite. Epic isn't all talk here. They've actually filed a lawsuit against Apple and Google, a complaint for injunctive relief, as one would say in legalese. The suit isn't going after either company's money. Rather, it's aiming to change their policies by asserting that they possess an unfair monopoly on selling things on the devices they sell. Think about it like this. Imagine that you created a better brand of car tires than are sold in stores. They're cheaper than the competition, and they take longer to wear out. Awesome. But there's a catch. There's only one store that sells tires in your country. They sell their own tires at a discount. You sell them your tires to sell to customers, but they take such a big cut that it isn't profitable for you to be in the tire business. You could try selling your own tires, but you're not allowed to open a tire shop in your country, hence your innovation is stifled. This is an oversimplification, of course, and Epic's Fortnite has seen tremendous profitability on Apple's iOS in spite of a 30% cut, but you get the idea. A significant portion of Epic's suit against Apple alleges that their policies aren't just bad for developers, but for consumers, because Apple's choice to take a chunk of the profits means that prices will necessarily be higher, a point they illustrated by making their direct sales V-Bucks cheaper. Epic's actions here could potentially change things in a major way for Epic's actions here could potentially change things in a major way for mobile game developers. There's the chance that if Epic wins, developers will be able to sell stuff to consumers directly through their own apps. This could have some interesting implications for gaming all around, but to start with, free-to-play games would stop being profitable for Apple overnight unless they find a new way to cut themselves into the money. If this goes through, don't be surprised if Apple starts pushing for games which are supported by single-time purchases. Personally, I think that would be a lot better for the state of mobile gaming. I can't speak for everybody, but I'd much rather buy a complete product once than download a game that's supposedly free, only to have it constantly nagging me to purchase ephemeral junk in-game just to make the experience tolerable. Then again, we could see the worst of both worlds, so let's not speculate too much. Epic's arguments against Google are somewhat similar, but, importantly, not identical. You can still play Fortnite on Android by either owning a Samsung device and having direct access to Samsung Store, or by a direct download from Epic. Epic, however, says that because Google warns users that there's a potential security risk to running third-party software that didn't come through their Play Store, Google maintains a monopoly of sorts on selling Android software, and the platform isn't as open as they claim it to be. Epic isn't the only multi-billion-dollar gaming company to take umbrage with Apple's policies. Microsoft could not get their upcoming xCloud game streaming service on iOS because, reportedly, Apple wouldn't be screening every game on the service, which seems bizarre and hypocritical, considering they allow Netflix and Hulu to exist on their platform, and they certainly don't screen content there. Instead, it's clearly about control over the marketplace. Apple, let's remember, owns the competing Apple Arcade subscription service, and this would be in direct competition with it. From a legal perspective, Epic has adopted a clever strategy. Their suit alleges that Apple's App Store policy violates the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890, which wasn't enacted to prevent monopolies from merely existing. Rather, it's to prevent those monopolies from working against competition to maintain their monopoly status in order to protect consumers. What do you think? Is Epic Games making the right move by taking on Apple and Google? Would mobile game developers actually drop their prices if Apple didn't take as big a cut? Spoiler, I don't think so. Is Epic Games actually the good guy in this scenario, standing up for the little devs? Or do they just want to become a bigger billion-dollar company than they already are? Whatever you think about all this, hit us up on Twitter at OneRuleBeCool to share your thoughts.